Vulcun still considering their last couple of picks right here. They've been hovering over Karthus for most of the time. I actually like that pick from ManCloud. I think he's a very good Karthus. He's so mechanically good, he'll get just massive amounts of farm in that champion, and they are going to go for it, as well as this nice little Cataclysm Defile combo. I like that.
Yeah, they're locking up a lot of team fight power right here on the Vulcun side. They have so much area of effect. Most of their damage right now, almost all of it, is area of effect. And meanwhile, Dignitas are, again, they're a team that likes to use the slippery champions that make plays through dashes. And they've already chosen that again. Even their support with the ultimate does have a slight jump himself. So with the Lee Sin and the Elise, they're already very elusive champions, and they're going to be trying dodging, dipping, and diving, as Riv said, inside and out of all of these area of effect abilities that Vulcun are using.
And they got to dodge that ball, and of course, it's interesting to look at. There's always the chance that you Crow Storm into a Cataclysm, and you're like, thanks, Jarvan. You're feared, by the way. You can't turn it off. Please die real quick. Dignitas is going to go back for I'mACutiePie's favorite AD carry of Graves, and they're going to make their last pick here. The Gragas coming in for Scar. That's a bit of a throwback.
This is actually one of the oldest counters to Karthus.
Yeah.
Way back in Season 1, Gragas used to be the go-to counter for Karthus because of the movement displacement from his ultimate. You just knock Karthus back, try and get him out of there. If you knock him all the way to the back lines, then you don't have to dodge all the Skittles here. You know, if you can dodge a lay waste, then you can dodge a ball.
We'll see if Dignitas has to taste the rainbow here against the Skittles of ManCloud. They've got one more pick to come through here. Vulcun going for the last choice. It is going to be the Zuna. Why not? Worked last time. The Zuna Tristana taking down turrets endgame. And by the way, speaking of late game team compositions, Tristana Karthus up there is one of the most happily 50-minute team comps.
I was going to say, right now we have very opposite ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Dignitas are going very, very hardcore into this early game. They've got the Lee Sin for making plays very early, the Elise for making plays early. Graves, when he gets his Bloodthirster and Last Whisper, that's when he's at the maximum power potential for that champion, because he gets the most bang for his buck with flat AD scaling from his abilities and armor penetration. So if CutiePie does go with just that 2-item combo right there, they're going to hit an amazing spike in the mid game that they will have to press very hard on this Vulcun team, because, like we said, Vulcun just like to wait on that Tristana to get level 18, so they have the range to take down turrets, and they've got so much area effect that if we do get to the late game, it's going to be hard, no matter how many dashes you have on Dignitas, to be able to get through all that area of effect damage and take out Tristana.
We'll see if they can do it, of course. And you've got to think about as well what you do if you not only just push the Karthus back, but what if you knock someone into your team with Gragas? You've got a whole bunch of guys who like assassinating one dude. You've got Elise, you've got Lee Sin, you've got the 3-second fear from Patoy, and the Graves Burst. So there's good synergies both ways. The counter to Karthus and the synergy with a knock-in if they want it.
Right, it's just that the pick potential here for Team Dignitas is completely reliant on their skill shots. It's either the Cocoon from Kiwi Kid's Elise or that ulti from Scar's Gragas. So little bit chancy team here for Team Dignitas, whereas Vulcun seem like sort of a solid tank-like castle team with their very area effect-oriented champions.
All right, so we'll get ourselves into the game. And Dignitas, of course, versus Vulcun. An important battle here. Vulcun wins this. They get second place. Dignitas, they get this one, and they hold themselves a little bit closer into the playoff race. And one thing I wanted to point out while we were in the loading screen a second ago is the teams normally wear their own summoner icons, and all of Vulcun are wearing Vulcun icons. Dignitas, only Patoy's wearing one. Kiwi Kid's actually wearing a Gambit icon. So showing some real team love here is Dignitas.
That's right. Spread the love around to the EU.
Anyway, they're going to go ahead and on forward. Look for the level 1s. Kiwi Kid gets spotted out. Of course, spots the rest of Vulcun. Actually takes down those Spiderlings as well. So a little bit of a gold lead now for that Vulcun lineup. 30 gold picked up for Spiderling kills both those two Smithy. So that man's going to be nice and happy.
So the Spiderlings in 310 did get a little bit squishier. Took out a lot of the health, but added in armor. So they do die a bit quicker, and even more quickly against people who bring armor penetration.
Okay, Kiwi Kid is actually spamming some abilities right now, because I was thinking you only get Spiderlings back if you cast abilities in human form. And so he's got to cast some of those things and get the Spiderlings back. Otherwise, he's going to be just a little bit weaker at level 1. And they have to hit an enemy, by the way, so he can't even get them right now. He has to hit someone with W or he gets no Spiderlings. I don't know. I thought it was cute. If he was jungling, that would suck.
So the reason that he did start with the W, and that's what he was spamming, is because that spider will give you vision. And since his spiderlings are dead, he can't pull the trick where if you change from human form into a spider, then your spiderlings will spawn and walk around walls to give you vision. So he got W instead to be able to check bushes.
I did see them coming in, of course. Lost his little lings, but he'll be all right. Now, Vulcun, they're going to start things out pretty standard. They got some aggressive wards down, but they're going to go for their own lizard buff. But here is Dignitas trying something a little bit cute. They're going for Vulcan's blue buff, and only Psycho Sid is here to defend it. This could be a steal for Dig.
So there's no smite in this blue buff war over here. So this is very interesting. Both of these sides actually have the potential to steal it away. QtPie is the one tanking the golem, but Psycho Sid is not backing off here. He's trying to get down as much fast as he can. Patoy's doing work with those fiddlesticks autos.
Autos hurting him bad. Unfortunately for Dignitas, they will not get the steal away until they bring in their own jungler. Meanwhile, Smithy has his red buff, smites away, steals the blue, and there's Crumbs. Crumbs says, oh, that just happened.
He got the slow onto Smithy, but it's only a level 1 Elise. No cocoon available. They can't chase him down. Great job by Smithy, grabbing up an extra buff.
3.4k on each side right here. Vulcun, a little bit of an early lead. There we go. See, they have a gold lead. Okay. Anyway, definitely some early good moves here for Vulcun. Skara in the duel against ManCloud. And they're actually holding pretty equal as well. I want to see... There we go. Yes. Crumbs is moving his way over, trying to grab the enemy blue buff. But Smithy's going to come down there as well. This is going to be a little bit of a fight, potentially.
And just want to say, the reason that Smithy was able to get over there in the first place to get this buff discrepancy is because he is on that Jarvan, and he can use the flag toss combo to get over the back of that Baron wall. And that's how he's one of the very few champions that could get to that blue buff that quickly. But all of his efforts were in vain. Crumbs does end up getting one back, and it's 2 buffs for each team.
2 buffs each. Good job, Dignitas, bringing their bottom lane over there, the duo lane, using them to support that one and making it still happen. So, no major buff advantage. However, Vulcun are sitting on still a bit of a gold lead. QtPie, having to leave his lane so many times, has brought him a minion kill deficit against Zuna. It's 13-21, and a lot of turret pressure coming through.
So, remember that fight over the blue buff at the start of the game? That's really where QtPie lost out on the first bit of minions, because they spent so much time trying to contest that golem with Psycho Sid that it was actually bad for Dignitas, because QtPie was losing out on minions during that whole time, and Psycho Sid wouldn't have been getting minions anyway because he was going to a 1 versus 2 situation.
So good moves then by these Vulcun players. They've got themselves 300 golds. 300 golds, yes, 300 gold in the lead. And Smithy right here actually lurking around, but the engage in the top lane, Bloodwater taking a bit of damage. Comes the Kiwi Kid, dropping some health bars, but Smithy still looking for this gank. He's
been able to sneak his way in here, and Skara does have his belly slam, so he's got the body slam to get out of this one.
There's the knock up onto Skara, half HP, Skittles are landing. Skara gonna have to walk his way back out, but the re-engage here in the top. Crumbs, wow, dropped dangerously low thanks to Zuna's auto attacks, but still the harassment across in Bloodwater, very low on mana, can't sustain much longer.
And Smithy opting to go back to farm the jungle now. So in the lane power is currently in Dignitas' favor. They have a 2 versus 2 up top, whereas there's a 2 versus 1 down bottom, and that turret is going to start taking some extra damage.
And this could be scary for these guys. There's QtPie and Patoy dropping down the last of these minions right here. And now they've got lane control turret, still close to full HP, I should say, right now.
That extra armor, we've talked about it so many times.
Helping.
People are probably aware of the fact that the turrets have more armor now.
Did you know the turrets have more armor? Not sure if everyone's aware just yet.
8 minutes.
First 8 minutes. And Kiwi Kid, of course, still trying to keep his alive. You notice that his turret, though, bonus armor or not, taking a heck of a lot more damage anyway, down to about 1/3, and another wave still coming through. So while Skara's holding on well, Kiwi Kid not so much.
I like this, the adaptation here, and you know, Zuna and Bloodwater are doing a lot of work up top there. They really making a push to get the first turret.
It's likely to fall soon unless they can get enough help from Crumbs. That Lee Sin is making his way up. Maybe it'll happen right here. We still look at the mid lane sort of battle, and it's just a farm fest between these guys. They're just last hitting minions very, very well. 43 to 38. Good bit of gold coming in from these guys, and now Crumbs on the defense. Will Zuna and Bloodwater do enough damage? Meanwhile, Smithy looks towards the bottom lane. Cutie Pie Patoy not having nearly the same success right here. Knockup comes by on a Cutie Pie. Will that be enough? Oh, great fear on a Psycho Sid, stopping it from jumping in. Smithy's gonna get out, but the re-engage in the top lane. Zuna forced to jump away. Repel used by Kiwi Kid. Still no kills, just fights back and forth.
We are having brawling in both of these side lanes, but the timer is clicking in Vulcan's favor here. They are the more late game oriented team, and continuing to farm up like this, whether it's 2 vs 1 or 2 vs 2, is fine with Vulcan right now.
And ManCloud now has hit level 6, and Scar's explosive cast is on cooldown. So there's a chance here that the side lane fight can happen. The hardcore dive comes in, and Requiem just seals the deal. See if Vulcan can do it.
Having that extra global damage there from the Karthus will be huge. But again, the roaming from Skara was what made people ban Gragas against him back in Spring Split. This was one of his main champions. People forget, because he stopped playing it for so long, because people were banning against him, that this was what was initially so fearful about Skara as a mid laner. He would shove that lane, and then he'll roam either top or bottom to create plays.
But speaking of roaming, look at the pressure now by Vulcan onto the blue buff of Dignitas. Smithy and ManCloud already onto this one. Looks like it's gonna be just grab here. Smithy smiting to make sure no one steals that one away. But now he's maybe in a bit of a rough spot. Skara could get a collapse onto him.
Smithy completely out-jungling Crumbs right here. Kept the timer on that blue buff that he was able to steal away, and immediately was there to take it back. Not only did he get the blue buff, but they also drew Kiwi Kid and Crumbs away from the turret, allowing Zune and Bloodwater to finish that one off. So first objective down, Vulcan are on a good path right here.
Absolutely beautiful play by them. First turret, more buffs controlled, and a 1,500 gold lead. Vulcan, again, we talked about how good their early game was and how they kind of crushed on Cloud9 early on. They're doing the exact same here to Dignitas. Maybe not 3 kills at level 1, but certainly an early game lead as Crumbs just has to take his own red buff in Sadness.
Well, you can definitely see that's what everyone's talking about, the importance of timing all the buffs and the objectives on the map, so you can make those players die. It's only a few seconds as a jungler that make the difference between a huge level like that, because if you're able to steal away a buff, that's the difference between level 5 Crumbs and level 6 Smithy.
Definitely a lead for him right here, and it's really the only guy who's, I think, keeping up is Skara. You look at 42 to 48 with a lost turret. That's Kiwi Kid versus Psycho Sid. You look at Zuna versus I'm a Cutie Pie. Big lead for Zuna. Already has his BF sword and a 14 kill lead as well. So again, that turret that he took down a little while ago. It's only Skara holding up, and that's kind of what happened in the Curse game, and he almost carried it, but it's a tough thing for Dignitas.
Yeah, with the lane phase going this well for Vulcan, scared of what this game will look like in 10 minutes, because they actually even have control of Dragon right now. They've got plenty of wards up, and the move from Dignitas will have to be to pick someone off. Dignitas need to grab a kill in one of these side lanes.
Well, they're looking for it with Crumbs right now. He's lurking around in the shadows. No ward spot him actually at all right now. There's actually very little ward coverage here to see him. However, it's the Psycho Sid versus Kiwi Kid battle. Kiwi Kid not in the best place. Ult comes off. Good flash dodges away. Ignites burn on both sides. Psycho Sid not going to win that battle, but there comes the Requiem. Goodbye to Kiwi Kid. First blood picked up. And there's the revive for Psycho Sid.
And Skara actually had just roamed down in the river. The other reason that Gragas is picked against Karthus is because you can ulti him away when he's channeling the Requiem, but Mandatory Cloud backs off into the lane, can't see him anymore, and Skara just makes a little walk around the mid there. Nice little circle, doesn't get anything done.
Very well played, and now a pink ward as well for Smithy. So we talked about Dragon Control, much stronger now as well for the Vulcan lineup. He even tosses the flag in Tribrush, spots Crumbs, I think, with it. It says, hey guys, Lee Sin's waiting around, but if you guys want, we can take down Dragon soon.
Yep, pink ward down on that one. Oh, the crescendo saves Zuna.
Flash attempt there, Cutie Pie forced to burn his barrier, but
whoa!
Oh, Zuna close attempt. Will Lee Sin go in? Crumbs looks for it. Barrier pop now here as well. Crumbs losing a lot of HP. There's the terrified Cutie Pie. Sniper that one away. The Crow Storm coming across, forcing Flash away from Bloodwater. But that's still an engage that went well for Dignitas. Skara and... That's all I needed to say.
I was gonna analyze that fight down bottom, but you were so intent on this this meeting of the Gragas and Jarvan there in the middle. It did come down to a nice couple slaps there for Smithy with the stick, but no big damage gonna go down to Skara. Really though, I wanted to talk about that bottom lane. That actually it transitioned into this dragon, but it was a great play by Bloodwater that didn't quite finish off Cutie Pie. Yeah. And in those situations, sometimes it's more harm than good because Zuna's sort of quote-unquote baited in by Bloodwater's nice play there to almost kill Cutie Pie. Then he overextends, flashes, barriers, and dies.
And Crumbs had actually stayed around, even though he got spotted by Smithy's flag. He was like, "No, I'm just gonna chill here. I'm still expecting the flash crescendo, or just the crescendo, as it were." Psycho said they're gonna look to re-engage a little bit against Kiwi. No, I'm just going to keep his turret alive, so Vulcun just sitting at this 2,000 gold lead. Of course, they had first blood, first turret, first dragon. Skara tasting the rainbow here, though. ManCloud dropping his health bar.
Yeah, you talked about how good ManCloud is at Karthus, and in the early game, you see that manifest by the CS numbers. He's definitely done his job. He's got the most in the entire game here, and that is very scary. He's rushed the Rod of Ages, which will be at full strength around that 20-minute mark. So he is ticking up very nicely here.
He's already had it for 2 minutes so far. You're right, 20 minutes, almost exactly the marker here. Mandatory Cloud just last hit of some minions, why the heck not? Psycho Sid, though, still picking a battle with Kiwi Kid. Remember, this turret has already gone down, so Sid can just go right back in. Requiem is available, remember. Sid, though, still diving forward, gets cocooned in the face. Bit of damage from Kiwi Kid. Here comes the jump in. Good repel, but he's got nowhere to go. Psycho Sid re-finds Kiwi, dropping the health bar lower and lower. Here comes Crumbs, though. Requiem comes across. Will it be enough? Psycho Sid likely to fall over, but it is going to be a trade. 1 for 1 here. Good re-engage by Dignitas.
So Dignitas, they did have to commit their jungler to that, though, which means that there's a discrepancy down bottom. It's going to be 3 versus 2 here. Smithy goes in.
Flash engage does not quite land onto I'm a Cutie Pie. Good attempt, though, but Toy was forced to flash away from that one. So still a 3 for 2. The crescendo also still available, and Vulcun forced Dignitas off of that bottom turret. So this could be 2 turrets now picked up for Vulcun if nothing happens.
Crumbs now making his way, Q's over to the golems, but it's very, very close here.
Now it's a little bit tenuous. The turret down only to about 200 HP right there, but does survive. Good job, Crumbs, showing up for his team. Vulcun still showing interest, though. They're sticking around as Crumbs just takes down double golems. Looks like there's still going to be a 3v3 for the structure.
Now, we ragged on Kiwi Kid a bit in the opening of this, but he's been doing an outstanding job. Yes, he did go down there, but they were able to get all of that extra damage onto the turret down bottom because the jungler was drawn up top. And again, with the Requiem from Mandatory Cloud, they did trade the kills.
And they did. So, I'm a Cutie Pie. Here we go. Taking damage. Of course, Crumbs waiting around. This is just the push for this turret. They're still around. You saw Skara roam for a second, but come back up. Vulcun and the rest of the team, they're just still pushing down this turret under siege, and that will be Dignitas giving up the structure. Good job by Vulcun, holding everyone there and saying, look, we'll get it eventually, and there we go. All
right, so Vulcun do end up getting that turret. And again, Kiwi Kid has gone to a little bit deep in that top lane. Psycho Sid has not hesitated every time his ulti comes back up to fully engage with Kiwi Kid. So another 2 seconds, and he'll have that one available once again.
Alrighty, so good pickups here. Let's see what's up next. Psycho Sid, yeah, wants to keep fighting Kiwi Kid. 92 to 94 in minions. Very similar builds from these guys as well. Some extra magic resist, some magic penetration and magic resist. These guys definitely knowing who they are brawling in these battles. Smithy hasn't stolen a buff now in a little while. The red buff just a second ago did go to Crumbs. Smithy just getting his own as well right here. So a lot of the pressure actually from Vulcun seems to have toned down.
Gara was actually heading over there to try a sneaky little red buff steal with the combo, but doesn't quite get there in time. So there's no action right there, and Smithy is able to secure his own red. Meanwhile, we haven't seen a lot of action here. Skara roaming down towards Mandatory Cloud, though.
No, not finding anything. These guys are just, they're playing the slow game. I mean, it's Vulcun who are the team that are in control, and it's funny because you look at, it's like the Curse versus Dignitas game. right? You've got a team who's like, man, we're going to scale so well, but we're not engaging on you, right? Kiwikid jumps in, but easy escape for Psycho Sids. It's like Vulcun can wait around 25 minutes and just be like, yeah, it's 6-item Karthus Ristana. So, like, they don't have to push, they just occasionally are.
They do have Requiem, though, right now, so fighting this 2v2 up top would definitely be in Vulcan's favor because they've got the extra damage.
And there we go, Crumbs dodging back, kicking away the Zac as well. Well played there by Crumbs, trading ultimates and getting a decent trade out of that one. Skara just holding here, gonna farm under his turret, easy minion kills for him. There we go. All right, the minion's still coming on through. It's just the farm game. These guys, Dignitas haven't quite found the openings they're looking for. Crumbs has been trying his hardest to look for openings in ganks. And Vulcun, they're just kind of immune to getting ganked. They're just not falling over in these. They're the ones forcing the trades. Otherwise, as you said, the timer goes in Vulcan's favor. They're just waiting around.
Yeah, and one of the main point forcing those trades has been, you know, Psycho Sid up top on that Zac, rushing the Spirit Visage. Let's just talk about how perfect of an item Spirit Visage is for Zac.
Okay.
Every single thing that's on that item is exactly what Zac wants. He's going up against Elise, so Magic Resist helps him in the laning phase. Plus, it's going to help him later because it's a dual AP team. Okay. And then he gets the increased self-healing. Zac is one of the champions in the game that has quite possibly the most self-healing of any champion because of the bloblets that he's constantly picking up. And cooldown reduction scales his damage here, but we're going to have an action bottom. Cutie Pie having to run for his life from Smithy.
Flash in from Zuna. Oh, the barrier, but here comes the Requiem.
Oh!
Goodbye, I'm a Cutie Pie. Kill picked up. That has been every kill for Vulcun. Has been, let's push, lots of damage. And Requiem.
He wanted to take the blue pill. There we go. Crescendo only hits Crumbs.
And the knockback onto Zuna. Look at the damage output there. Poor little Yordle trying to run away. Good barrel by Skara. Another 1-for-1. Doesn't quite land the body slam, but will they keep chasing? Smithy and Bloodwater. One's low on health, one's low on mana. The flash! Nice pickup there for the slow, but the re-engage on a Patoy. The dunk as well. Smithy's gonna pick that one up, but that is traded back. Another 1-for-1 here, but that has allowed ManCloud to push down the mid lane. Now Skara with a bit of a mana bar, looking for Bloodwater. Bloodwater now out of mana, lands a barrel. Skara, can you land the body slam? Not quite.
Oh, it's hard to run in heals, but he's got Mandatory Cloud.
He's trying to float away. Can he? And he's body blocking. Look at Mandatory Cloud. Body blocking Skara, not allowing the jump in, but look at Psycho Sid versus Kiwikid. That's a health bar difference. Almost has the damage to flash away. The flash W does. He cast it too short. No, Kiwikid, no. Oh, does not pick up Psycho Sid. That Spiderling was not the best.
Mandatory Cloud just saving everyone on his team right now. Coming to the rescue. What a hero. First save Sona. She probably doesn't even have heals under there. She's floating. Can't really tell. But he also saves the mini Zac over on top. There goes the ulti from Skara.
Doesn't quite land on Azuna though. Doesn't knock him into the team. Nice try. Just a little bit misaimed. And that's not going to be too much more picked up here. Vulcun are winning in kills now for the first time in a while, 5-4. Of course, turrets have still been their game, but Dignitas, they're feeling good enough. They've started up on Dragon. This could be theirs.
All right, the 5v5 fight is actually going to go down before. Here, Crumbs wants to finish this Dragon. He's sitting the Q on it, but he misses the smite. Smithy with the steal.
Smithy takes it away, and there's Psycho Sid jumping on in. Kiwi gets so low on health, forced to jump up. Crumbs now alone. Psycho Sid kind of holding on the rest of the team. Kill picked up there for Zuna, and here's the chase. Kiwi drops down to ignite. Psycho Sid finds another for his team. 2-for-0, as well as 2-for-0 on Dragons. Vulcun well in control.
Smithy right there, again, with a beautiful smite steal. Crumbs, he was waiting around for the combo with the Resonating Strike and the smite, but he couldn't wait long enough because it was going to time out. Everyone stopped hitting the Dragon, so he was forced to back off there. And Smithy just came in with a beautiful steal.
Good job then by Smithy, making everything happen. Of course, the blue buff going over to Scar on the side, but Vulcun with a lot of control. Will they keep pushing in for this turret? Looks like they're going to. Smithy, Bloodwater, Zuna, they've been together for a lot of this game, actually. A lot of the pressure has been these three champions, and look how fast that turret's going down, but they've got to be careful. The rest of Dignitas are showing up.
They got 5 members chasing him. Crumbs lands the slow.
The Crescendo using the top side as well, trying to get away from Scar, but the explosive cast is still there. There's the push on forward. Barrel roll off into Bloodwater. Bloodwater does not have flash available. Will they need to push in more? ManCloud showing up to defend the team. There's a knockback into ManCloud. He burns exhaust though. Scar's got to be careful. Crumbs low HP as well. Lee Syndra puts him across the map, and there's 2 kills picked up. Beautiful job right here. But the Requiem, will it be enough? Crumbs puts on the shield. He still goes down. ManCloud is massive, but it's a 2-for-1 still in Dignitas' favor.
And the danger's still there. There's a spider waiting in that bush. Zuna and Smithy still have to run.
Kid looks for a bit more, doesn't quite find it. 2-for-1 Dignitas. Psycho Sid on cleanup duty now, pushing this top lane, and no one from Dignitas actually is here to stop him. But still good things for Vulcun, honestly. They lose a fight, but they keep pushing.
Yeah, he was up there the whole time pushing away, but missing that tank really did hurt Vulcun, and it's a small step for Dignitas in the right direction. They got a little bit of gold back, and they just have to stop the actual tower from going down, and it'll be worth it.
It looks like, yeah, it's going to survive with just a little bit of health bar left. Of course, the rest of Dignitas able to keep the farm going. I want to take a look back at the AD carries because Zuna, well, sorry, actually, let's start with I'm a Cutie Pie. You talked about the Bloodthirster, like the last Whisper coming in, the early burst damage. He's got that Bloodthirster done. He had a full completed item, has a Zeal as well, so that's kind of nice. Zuna only just now has finished his Infinity Edge, so suddenly now Zuna's got a big spike in power. He can start contributing a little bit more to the fights. That could be an even better thing for Vulcun.
Yeah, Infinity Edge on Tristana, extremely scary because Zuna actually does max that rapid fire second right after his explosive shot. So he's only got one more point into it, which gives him so much attack speed to go along with that, the extra crit there.
A very scary explosive urinal indeed. And it's going to be all kinds of terrifying, I would say, for Dignitas, despite the fact that they're the one with fiddlesticks. He's going to jump in. There's a knockback on a ManCloud. That's exactly what Skara wanted. Look at the damage output coming across. One more hit to go. ManCloud finally falls over, but Sharvin is helping. Look at the just surround there. Skara has nowhere to go. Shutdown goes to Smithy. 2-for-1 as I'm a Cutie Pie died in the bottom lane. Zuna and Bloodwater making good things happen.
Oh, Skara was the one person on Dignitas who did not want to die because he had that 500 gold bounty. It was already maxed out on him. He was the one racking up the kills, and Smithy actually is able to claim that one.
And of course, the secondary turret did go down as well. Forcing the flash from Patoy. Nice jump in from Psycho Sid roaming out of his lane. Forcing summoners away. Bloodwater rejoining the team as well.
And Zuna's knocking on the bottom inhibitor turret door.
And this is so massive. Only Patoy showing up. Finally Cutie Pie as well. There's a sound. This could be rough. Zuna, can you jump away? There he does jump away. All right. So survives just barely. Almost was in Terrify range. That could have been scary.
And Vulcun are just going to continue to pressure this lead in because they had such a good laning phase with such a late game team. They're feeling extremely confident. This is all going according to game plan here. Now all they have to do is continue to have Zuna split pushing side lanes and ward up with Bloodwater. As long as he wards up that bottom side of the jungle, Tristana is an amazing split pusher for an AD carry. Not only does he have great wave clear with explosive shot, but he's got two forms of disengage with the ulti and the rocket jump.
Beautiful stuff. Ooh, nice steal right there. That's going to be Smithy taking that one away. But of course, as a team set up around the map, we do have a replay, of course, of that beautiful Tristana kill on I'm a Cutie Pie.
Red buff Zuna goes in. He's definitely one of the most aggressive ADs, rocket jumping forward a lot. And Bloodwater also helping with the extra slow power chord.
And the slow power is so good for these guys, of course. Vulcun still strangling the map. Almost 10,000 gold in the lead for these guys. The rest of Dignitas kind of on the back foot. See what they can do to turn this game around. They've been looking for those Gragas picks, but they just haven't really found one in a while now.
And the clock is really ticking here. We've got Mandatory Cloud sitting on not only the Rod of Ages, which is already fully stacked, but almost a fully stacked Archangel Staff and an extra needlessly large rod. He is about to just shoot his AP through the roof here, and we already saw how much damage it did to Crumbs in the last time he used it. It's going to be pretty much destroying the entire team of Dignitas here, so they're going to have to pull out some picks on the side lanes of the map to get back in this one.
And of course, there's a good chance that needlessly large rod becomes Zhonya's and no longer becomes pickable. It's like, yeah, you want to knock me in for Defile for 3 more seconds? That'd be nice. I'd appreciate that. So, good luck, Dignitas. Seems like the picks for Vulcun have done very well for them so far. Scar, though, at least will be continuing to wear that blue buff. He's standing on a ward. There's a good chance he gets to take it anyway. There we go. Blue buff for Scar. He's going to keep his cooldowns nice and low. Max CDR thanks to the blue and Chalice. But Vulcun, they've been doing it all game. They've been controlling the map, and now this dragon is going to continue to be theirs. that I believe makes number 3 or 4. So they're just not giving anything up. They're 4-0 on turrets. They're up in kills. They're up everything.
Yeah, congratulations, Scar, on the blue buff because Smithy wasn't there this time. They did have the timer, though. The reason he wasn't there is because they were grabbing Dragon.
Yeah, I think I'd take that trade if I were Vulcun.
And they immediately send Zuna back to the bottom lane. He actually, if he had hesitated a little bit there and QtPie had gone to farm that wave first, Zuna would have gone into dual QtPie.
But now here's the rest. There's no wards in the bottom jungle that spots the rotation from mid into the bottom lane. So Zuna is actually pretty blind to any rotations Dignitas pulls in here. He's got to rely on the other champions being spotted in the lanes. Otherwise, he's unsafe.
He doesn't wear his glasses anyways. If there are wards, they probably wouldn't see him.
He leans so far forward, he can't even see down to the bottom right corner.
He has gone with a different item build than usual, though. He is just one of the biggest proponents of that Blade of the Ruined King on almost all AD carries.
Yeah.
He's actually opted for the Infinity Edge Phantom Dancer combo this time, which just means his late game damage is going to be even more insane than usual.
In case they needed the help. Well, Vulcun still on the push. You're seeing Psycho Sid now, Sunfire Cape completed, and making his way down, gets the secondary turret in the top lane. That makes it 5-0. Of course, we'd already seen the bottom lane fall down as well, where Zuna is just kind of habitating.
And because Vulcun are still splitting like this, you know, the reason they're splitting is because they're so confident in their lane phase. They've been winning each one so easily that they don't have to group up yet. But it does open up the small possibility here for Dignitas to make a play on one of these split-pushing side lanes and pick somebody off.
And you were seeing them move down right there. You actually saw Patoy try to jump in, but Smithy was already there to play defense, so unfortunately no rotation kill for Dignitas. But Zuna inhabiting that bottom lane was putting some good pressure on a QtPie. That inhibitor turret down about to half HP. That's going to make things very rough for Dignitas. They're still losing their base to this slow and steady Tristana push.
They're not going to change plans here. Trying to keep up the pressure. They actually send Smithy down there to throw the flag for a little bit of extra attack speed for Zuna.
And Smithy getting chased down right now. QtPie has the red buff. Crumbs comes in as well, lands another slow onto Smithy. Zuna using Buster Shot to get away. The dash away from Smithy as well. Vulcun are still giving Dignitas some deference, saying, yeah, you do have team fights. We got to be a little careful.
And they hold on to the crescendo that fight. They didn't even have to blow the cooldown. That was the disengage from Tristana that we talked about, where he's so strong at split pushing, and Smithy on Jarvan is so mobile, they're able to pull back, so they don't end up paying for that split pushing style that they were using, and Dignitas let them slip through their fingers here.
And also, there's a Michaela's Crucible done now for Bloodwater, so we can remove that 3-second fear off the choice target, whether it's ManCloud, whether it's Zuna, anyone they really care about. He can drop the Terrify off. And that just is another thing going well for Vulcun. Part of that's because of their global gold lead.
That just frees up Zuna to build full offense here. Because even if he gets ulted aside by Skara, he's got the rocket jump. And he'll be able to reposition one time in the fight. It looks like they're just going to pull back. They've already cleared out this Baron. So it can go down without Dignitas ever knowing.
Look how fast it's dying as well. Zuna with the rapid fire last hits that one. Smithy spending a little bit early. And of course the damage output of Karth is very high as well. But now the Baron being worn on Team Vulcun, complementing their nice red health bars so nicely with that purple. And they're going to move on towards the Dignitas base. The secondary middle turret, the only tier 2 standing.
Vulcun looking so scary now. The playoffs are going to be very exciting because not only are they just crushing Dignitas right now, but they beat Cloud9 again. So if someone's going to be giving Cloud9 enough their money, I think it will be Vulcun here during the playoffs. I'm definitely looking forward to that fight.
Teams are definitely looking very good. Vulcun especially, of course. You see them still continue that tri-lane push, and it's funny to think back in the spring split when Dignitas was so dominant. That was kind of how they were winning games. We got a big early game lead, a lot of good ganks. Let's push all the lanes until something cracks.
Well, this is a strategy that you can only use when you're winning that big. You can't pull one of these, push all the lanes, unless your composition are all champions with massive disengage that can just escape. You have to be winning all of these lanes for this to work, because everyone is pushing their minion waves up to the turrets to keep vision of Dignitas and keep them inside their base. The Cocoon misses, so Psycho Sid goes crazy again.
A lot of damage coming out there, waiting right on top of where the Cocoon had landed. Kiwi Kid dropped dangerously low, and if you want, just go for Requiem. Goodbye, Kiwi Kid. Another kill picked up in the same way as before. 5-2-2 mandatory Cloud, and Cutie Pie gets the
Scar
blue buff.
misses!
Scar misses the ulti, has to dash over the wall. ManCloud nice and low on HP, but the re-engage coming across from Sid. ManCloud had popped his shield, gets kicked away by Crumbs. He will not be part of this fight anymore, but Psycho Sid really wants blood right here. Cutie Pie just gets chunked down right there. Bottom lane turret goes down to the duo lane, and ooh, the flash from Crumbs keeps him alive. Sid still walking forward. Finds Skara. Smithy, can you have the damage? Yes, you can. Another kill picked up. 3 for 0. And a lot of turrets going down.
Psycho Sid and Mandatory Cloud just beat the entire team of Dignitas. The 3 members of Vulcun were just down bottom, shoving in that bottom lane. It was just Psycho Sid and Mandatory Cloud bullying everyone right there.
Total
this is
bosses.
definitely over.
This is look at that. They've got 5 people hitting the turrets. They've got minions there as well. In 32 minutes, this is going to be Vulcan's game. Almost flawless victory. 0 turrets. Psycho Sid is like spamming emotes at this point. Just going for the twist, doing some dance moves. That's going to be the Nexus falling over. Vulcan securing second place. They are into Season 4. They've got a bye in the first round of the playoffs. Congrats to Vulcan.
Well deserved, too.
Yeah.
They really came out big today. Both of those games were decisive, very well executed, and